Well, good morning, church. Romans chapter 8, verse 18 through 24. It's a beautiful contrast of emotions and expectations, our suffering and our hope. And I want you to just hear it this morning with a little bit of highlights. So Romans 8:18 says, I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory that's to be revealed in us. For the anxious longings of the creation waits eagerly for the revealing of the sons of God. All the exciting stuff of God's glory and His revelation coming to us. For the creation was subjected to the futility, not willingly, but because of Him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself also will be set free from its slavery to corruption. Now we got the negative, into this freedom of the glory, the positive, of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groans and suffers the pains of childbirth together until now. And not only this, but also we ourselves, having the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan with ourselves, waiting eagerly for our adoption as sons, the redemption of our body. Verse 24, for in hope we have been saved. If you move down to verse 26, it says, even the Spirit groans in prayer over all of this. So what an amazing contrast of expectations and emotions. Paul says, all creation groans, the earth and nature is groaning for the renewal by God to the original intent of creation. All creation physically groans over all of that, suffering and groaning. Then it says we ourselves groan and suffer. I know as I age, my body makes groans and aches and pains, but I also just ache inside for the redemptive work that God says is going to be true of all of us in that perfect place where He has for us. I ache for this place on earth that He has for us that has no more pain, no more sorrow, sadness, or suffering, where He is going to make all things right. There will not be wrong. There will not be sin against man to man on this earth. I long for that day, and I ache for it as I get older. That we ourselves groan, and then it actually says the Spirit of God groans. G. Campbell Morgan says that there's a divine discontent in the Spirit of God because man's not fully at rest in God, because man is not experiencing the ultimate peace of God. So all of that groaning and suffering is in contrast to verse 24. In verse 24 it says, in hope we have been saved. So while we're in this state of groaning, we also have this state of salvation that says there's something different coming. There's great suffering, despair, and discontent. But then there's also hope, because our faith tells us he says it in the text, there's an adoption as sons. I've been adopted as a son, and I'm going to move to my new home. There's a redemption of our groaning and suffering body. Our body's going to be changed and redeemed and renewed, and it's coming. So we can live in hope today with the knowledge of your salvation, that while there is groaning in creation, while there is suffering, while the Spirit's grieved with us, we can also recognize there is a redemptive work that'll keep us in the presence of God, hoping and longing for our salvation, and give us real hope. We have real hope in Him. So I pray you'll share that with others today. Maybe there's those around you who are really suffering, been through a tragedy or a hard time, and you can say, while there's groaning, there is hope, because God's work He's working quietly in the background, but boy is He working and preparing a place for us so that there will be no more sorrow, sadness, and suffering. Live in your hope today. We'll see you soon.